hello. You're back to Minuna's channel, and today I would be reading yet again scary but true events, apparently true events of Reddit story. And today I would be being a fairy, a fae with pink and red aesthetics. But today I won't be doing my makeup by myself. My friend would be doing my makeup while I read. So let's get into it.
Hello. So, Yuna has invited me to be on her video in order to do her makeup, but sometimes my friend really forgets the very major factor that I don't even know the more of makeup. Coming in front of the camera for the first time, I usually say on the side.
Criminal offensive side eye.
So, bear with me.
Behind the camera, Neanderthal. In front of the camera, elite, elegante.
You clean it?
Ah, it's a toner, no?
No, I didn't put it.
You're supposed to put the toner.
From outside. Where does it? Oh. You
Adavi!
you put it like this one.
It is entertaining. So the first story we are going to be reading is from the subreddit called as r/askreddit, which says, "What's the scariest true story you have heard or told?" This one is from Oscar Divine. Yeah, beep everything.
Beep me later once the video is done. Oh, I was about to get fired because she told me exactly what is supposed to be done. The next thing, and I literally blanked out thinking about. Did I move too much again?
Nah, it's fine. Sunscreen is never too much.
Don't put it in your eye, right? लगाने के बाद पूछना is like something out of the world, but anyways.
What about my neck? My lonely neck. My lonely neck,
Here you go.
which never gets sunscreen.
And it was you putting it on your neck. That's why I did not put it. Oh my God, I did not put it up.
I have video evidence of me putting sunscreen on. So whatever sauce.
You were supposed to tell. Oh, I can feel it around my temples. About it when you part.
Cut the cameras.
The poor microphone went flying up through the window.
It just fell. The amazing gravitization. We were squaring back to the story of Oscar Divine. I have told this story before. I'm an eye doctor, and I had a patient come to me with an infected eyelid. Two other eye doctors tried to treat and failed. They were dumping all sorts of medicine into it, and it wasn't getting any better. At this point, don't do my phone, इतना गंदा स्पोर्ट मारता है.
That's what she said.
To an eye doctor's heartfelt, scary story, and over here, we're talking about squirts and stuff.
You know, the very factor is makeup for me is more stressing than actually giving a terminal exam.
Let me. You are like one of those kids who are like, so she is one of those kids like, अरे मैंने कुछ नहीं पढ़ा, मैंने सही में कुछ नहीं पढ़ा, I'm so stressed. And then like later on, after 2 months, when you get your like reports, gets 80%. PC is so freaking chilled.
Thanks, I'm wearing that.
My heart is gold, but my hands are super cold.
How do you do this? Full face.
Dab, 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 dab.
Tim, 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 tim. Oh.
You directly applied, right? So put it. Yes, it's not an issue. Dab over here also the same amount. Just dab around the places where there is nothing except of my skin. They were dumping all sorts of medicine into it and it wasn't getting any better. At this point, it was swollen and painful for weeks with no improvement despite.
Because I'm not getting a story. Come on. I'm like, no, don't need that story anymore. But that's not the case. I am just trying to survive this freaking challenge that has been thrown on my face.
हम होंगे कामयाब. So, it was a painful maneuver for her very swollen eyelid, which might explain it. Anyhow, there appeared to be what looked like a visible abscess inside the tissue with thick, gooey material. I thought I'd give it a nudge and saw it saw it move. Oh my god. This wasn't an abscess. It was something else. I managed to remove it quite easily in one whole piece. It was a fly larva. Oh, shit. The patient told me that she had a bug hit her in the eye a few days before she got this infection. I removed the larva within 2 days. The wound closed and she was 100% recovered on basic antibiotic eye drops. Yes, I do have the photos from this case for those interested. TLDR, patient had a bug lay an egg in her eyelid and I removed the larva.
But that was very, very,
Disturbing.
yeah.
It is very disturbing. Now it makes me scared to even go out. Like imagine a bug just hits you in the eye and then like it lays eggs.
The ladies let the bug do it. They don't like hit you and they just it could have been around her eye for a long time for it to lay an egg, dude.
कौन रहने देता है एक bug को?
I don't.
So this next story is from a deleted account. This happened to me. This is from the days when I used to live back home. I used to live in Karachi, Pakistan, but now moved to UK. We used to live very close to CID, Police Investigation Department, aka Pakistan FBI. Yeah, CID. The same thing I was so scared of.
Making it just textureful. I'm not happy about it.
We are again trusting the process. Today is yet another day to trust the process.
No, the very fact that actually अब मुझे last time सिखा रहे थे तभी वो ब्यूटी ब्लेंडर से इतनी बार आपने सिखाया कि अब मेरे को वो ब्यूटी ब्लेंडर का मतलब
It's about time for changes.
I knew that coming from.
Building which we all were unaware of and always thought it was an ordinary government building till on 11th November 2010. On that day, around evening time, coming home from work, on that day, around evening time, coming home from work, I thought I better hit the gym because they had a sauna, and after being tired from all day work, that sounded like a good idea, which was hardly zero point 0.3 miles away, so I decided to walk to the gym. I change quickly and leave for the gym and start walking towards the gym. This is almost, I've hardly walked like 10 minutes and I am zero point 0.1 miles away, roughly. And all of a sudden, for a nanosecond, I feel that ground is shaking. And the next thing I hear is the loudest bang I have ever heard, followed by a pressure kick into my chest. Now, to let you guys know, my both ear.
You can continue, please, even if I'm disturbing you.
Now to let you guys know, both of the ears started bleeding because the bang was so loud. And for the reference, the kick in my chest was as bad as Big Show wearing military boots and kicking you in the chest straight with full force.
Do you know who Big Show is?
Nope.
He's a WWE fighter.
Okay.
And he's like a giant. For reference.
I'm sorry, I just know John Cena because of that epic intro song he has. Da, 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 da.
You would not put that for every single person. You can't see. You would just say that and be introverted, be like.
Just like getting invisible in the background. Okay. Next thing, I'm on the ground covering my ears because they are in agony and covered in dirt, trying to figure out what's happening. As I'm trying to figure out, I can see all the cars' alarm have gone off. Anything made up of glass has been shattered in roughly 1 to 2 miles area. I'm still trying to figure out what has happened and I start smelling gunpowder. And as if someone is making a barbecue and is being burned.
I'm also gonna make your barbecue now.
Why? And is being
My
burned.
favorite part of the makeup. Enough?
You just sprayed one inside of my eye.
Oh, sorry. I kicked you.
I will always remember that smell, which was something unsettling. Next thing, rocks and dust particles starts landing on me and the surrounding areas which had 1 to 1.5 inches long of pieces of human skin and flesh. I'm not believing that I have another human skin piece stuck to my arm. I brush up my clothes and arms, getting up and covering my ears, recovering from the pressure kick. As I move closer to a spot in the street where I'm hearing loads of people screaming and crying, I see a few 3 to 5 feet cracks between some walls of the building which had been destroyed by the shock wave of the bang. I see the gap between a wall and move into the area where I see these scenes straight from a Hollywood movie where people are crying, cars on fire, and dead bodies on the ground. By this time, I am thinking it's a bomb blast, and that's what has happened. As I move closer, I see a 10-foot and 30-foot wide crater which has been filled with the water, and the building, which was CID building, is no longer there. There are hundreds of people lying on the ground crying for help, as some of them don't even have legs or limbs, or some don't have their complete bottom. I'm still in a state of shock looking around, and I see a woman crying and hitting herself because she had her husband dead, whose legs and torso are missing. I I seen that later. I see several people without legs, brains out, and no limbs. God.
This is terrifying beyond thought. I mean, you're just coming out from your work, you're thinking to go to a gym, then spa to de-relax, and you're just thinking about it, walking to whatever the place it is, and then within a second, everything turns for you. Oh, I got goosebumps thinking about it.
One thing which haunted me for sure was an 18 to 20-year-old guy who was dead and lying on the floor towards his chest on the floor with his neck turned towards me. I can still remember him looking straight into my eyes. His feet were flipped the other way around. After the police arrived and media arrived, I came back home after I got crowded. After it got crowded. After I came home after the dusk every day, I would see that 18 to 20-year-old boy standing and staring into my eyes. I would wake up screaming throughout the night and see that guy standing at the floor, at the doorway, just staring at me. For 2 to 3 weeks, I would see this guy regularly during midnight, standing in my hallway, staring through my soul. I still remember that guy's face and the shockwave and the sound of the blast. P.S. To this day, even the slightest bang or even a loud music drops freaks me out sometimes, reminding me of that shockwave. I'm married, so sometimes I tell my wife that the bang just reminded me of the shockwave I witnessed in this accident. I don't tell her, but inside my heart, I pray secretly that God don't ever put anyone through that, even in their wildest dreams. Edit. Thank you to whoever gave me my first gold award. I'm thankful to all of your kind comments. There's a picture. This next story is from r/true scary stories. Prep Rank Dwara. The title of the story: Music Box That We Don't Have. Disclaimer: the topics of overdosing and abusive relationships are mentioned in the post bill. If you're sensitive to this topic, you have been warned. I have previously posted in this subreddit about the 2016 clown sighting, and you folks seem to like my storytelling. So I'll tell you about another encounter that my family and I had with the paranormal. The exact year is lost to me, but it was possibly during 2021, 2022. My mother was dating her then boyfriend and was honestly in an abusive relationship. That attempted was honestly in an abusive relationship that attempted to work things out, but they didn't mesh well. In the fast food industry, I worked as a main backline cook at a local Hardee's, Carl's Jr. for you West Side folk. And I was still living in the same house as the house previously mentioned in my other post in the subreddit. A neat, short, 712 square foot house that my mother is renting. In 2016, my biological grandmother died of an overdose. Oh my god. Although my mother thought at the time and still does think it was her brother who had hand in her death, my mother's brother often stole my grandmother's medication behind her back. And
For what reason?
so that's what we're getting at.
Oh,
Patience.
is a virtue and everyone.
And sold it/used it. And these medications were vital to her health. Then physically and verbal abuse was introduced in my grandmother's household, with my mother's brother often lashing out at her both verbally and physically. Then one day in 2016, someone checked on my grandmother and found my grandmother's front door was open and her corpse laid out on the bed. Oh my god. My mother took this death hard and didn't have enough money for a proper burial. She didn't want her incinerated remains to be dumped in an unmarked grave, so she bought an urn and a personal shelf. Over the years, this shelf has transformed into a memorial filled with nostalgic personal times, music boxes, grandmother's decoration, and her urn with her ashes. This memorial shelf is in the living room next to the bedroom door. One day in 2021, 2022, my mother was using the bathroom, and her boyfriend and I were in the kitchen fixing our plates and preparing our supper. The house's atmosphere was still and quiet, with a movie in the living room being paused. However, from within the living room, one of the music boxes had begun to play a song, and one of the music, and nobody was in the living room to operate the music box. With just our two cats lying asleep on our couch. It spooked me. However, my mother was welcoming and accepting, believing it was her mother reaching out from the afterlife. The strange part is that we played every single music box on the memorial shelf, and none of them had the same song that played while everyone was out in the living room. I was closest to the living room and I could hear its song correctly. The house was quiet enough for everyone to listen it. Or okay, I was closest to the living room and could hear the song correctly. The house was quiet enough for everyone to listen to it play. Not one single music box on that memorial stand even sounded similar to the song that played in the living room. I enjoy the idea that my grandmother was tinkering with her little music boxes or trying to reach out to her daughter, and so does my mother. My mom always says it's not the dead you have to fear, it's the living you must fear. I thought there would be some sort of importance if about like the boyfriend. Hey, that was some story, not gonna lie.
बस उतना ही था. I thought कुछ actual ज़्यादा था उसमें.
No.
It was just like grandma. That was so sweet of a story. I don't think it was scary.
Okay, next story. It's also from True r/True Scary Story by Dizzy Woodpecker 2602. The Footsteps Upstairs. This happened last month, and I can never get it out of my mind. My friend and I were traveling in Vietnam, Hanoi specifically. This was pretty much our university graduation trip. So it was just us three roaming the beautiful city. The hotel we stayed at was decent. It was located at a populated area and was overall left a good impression on us. However, this one night left me feeling uneasy. Mind you, this was our third night there. This is quite important information. After watching a movie, rom-com, nothing scary, and finishing up our snacks, it was already 1 a.m. So we decided to call it a night since we had to be up early that day. As we were preparing to sleep, we suddenly heard a bunch of heavy footsteps upstairs. Now, the reason I said that it was a third evening sleeping there was important information and was because we didn't hear any footsteps the past 2 days, nor did we hear any. Ye wala. I like it.
मेरी फटी पड़ी है उसको मुझे.
So, randomly hearing many heavy footsteps at 1 a.m. right above us left us feeling very confused. By the time we were all tucked in bed, it was around 1:30 a.m. and we still heard footsteps and things being dropped upstairs. We knew that they were right above us because the sounds were extremely loud. So, again, we were confused but also irritated because common courtesy is at least trying to keep your noise level down past 12 midnight. But also, we were scared because, again, we have never heard such footsteps the evening before or the evening after. Finally, after what felt like hours, I was able to fall asleep. However, I was abruptly woken up to noise yet again. Wondering what time it was, I grabbed my phone and I saw it was exactly 3 a.m. That spooked me to the core. And I remember not being able to sleep because there was just so much noise upstairs. I didn't want to overthink what it may have been because what good would that have done? But finally, after 30 minutes or so, I fell back asleep. My friends and I woke up talking about it that morning and how we were all just really spooked at how much noise there was right above us. Again, the day after, no one. The days before, no one. You'd think we would have heard a bit, but I promise you, we heard nothing. I don't know, maybe someone might have gotten like for a day or a few hours, something like that.
Or maybe there could have been any staff working over there. Staffs always work around the hotel if there is like, open room.
I don't know about staff lurking around, but like then again, I feel like it can be that someone had came for a few hours or something, and a lot of people do shady businesses at 12, but a lot of people just have like their body cycle of like 12 to 3 a.m. Like, for example, me, I am a night owl, so I would be lurking around the house with my like tippy toes, like pat, 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 pat around the house. We are left with one last story, but we are also left with a lot of makeup to be done.
At least for my liking.
Tough love is the best love.
No, no, no! Will come after putting the eyeliner and I hope I do not. What do you say in your language?
And we hope that she doesn't mess it all up.
Thank you, because I was about to curse because I'm just done.
Cut the cameras. So, guys, I'm back, and if you guys hadn't noticed, there's a return of the bangs. I don't know what is my mom's obsession with cutting my bangs because she really likes this hairstyle on me, but I don't not like. I look really weird.
No, you look cute.
Thank you for fixing my hair. Even though the bangs are very disheveled, because the way I just like them up, don't even. This is my crown, and I am now a cute little fairy without any wings. Wings Club, the power. But anyway, so today was what it was. I tried to save up the makeup look. I don't know if it got saved or if it got worse, but any which ways possible, let me know. Did my friend do the makeup justice? Did the makeup reference really live up to the actual makeup I did? And let me know what other Reddit stories or what kind of other Reddit story subreddits you would like to see. And for the time being,